warrior. I'm a blue-collar SOB, son of a butcher, who fought his way out of the rough, crime-ridden streets of New York. And as a successful businessman, I started with nothing. So I also had to fight my way to success. I know a fighter when I see one. And Laura Loomer is the fighter we need in Congress. She is the cure for the squad. And I personally can't wait for the day that Laura is sworn in, so we can watch the leftists and socialists and globalists literally scramble for a place to hide as Laura Loomer walks through the hallways of Congress. Think about this. Dream with me. Just imagine the moment Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and especially Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib see Laura Loomer walk towards them and realize they have to fight her every day for the next session of Congress. We have to make that dream come true. That won't happen without your support. Donate right now, right below. Give as much as you can up to the legal limit, and let's get Laura Loomer to Washington, D.C.
We're going to go to lauraloomerforcongress.com. So let's do this together. After you do that, you're going to see a page that looks like this. This is my campaign website, and you're going to want to enter your email in the white box that says your email. So type in your email, click send, and then you're going to see on the front page right above my picture, there is a green Donate Now button. You're going to click on the Donate Now button if you want to donate. When you click on the green Donate button, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. You're going to want to scroll down until you come to the information where it asks you how much of a contribution you want to make. $10, $25, $50, $100, $500, $1,000, $2,800, $5,600, $11,200. Donate today, sign up to volunteer, enter your email address, because this is going to be the most watched congressional race in the country. Mark my word.
We must go to Congress and make America greater than it is.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root, otherwise known as War. I host the Wayne Allyn Root Show every night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Newsmax TV. They call me the conservative warrior. I'm a blue-collar SOB, son of a butcher, who fought his way out of the rough, crime-ridden streets of New York. And as a successful businessman, I started with nothing. So I also had to fight my way to success. I know a fighter when I see one. And Laura Loomer is the fighter we need in Congress. She is the cure for the squad. And I personally can't wait for the day that Laura is sworn in, so we can watch the leftists and socialists and globalists literally scramble for a place to hide as Laura Loomer walks through the hallways of Congress. Think about this. Dream with me. Just imagine the moment Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and especially Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib see Laura Loomer walk towards them and realize they have to fight her every day for the next session of Congress. We have to make that dream come true. That won't happen without your support. Donate right now, right below. Give as much as you can up to the legal limit, and let's get Laura Loomer to Washington, D.C.
Hi, I'm Laura Loomer, and I'm running for Congress in Florida's 21st Congressional District. Nearly 18 years ago, Muslim terrorists killed 3,000 innocents. Sadly, nearly 18 years later, the Democrats in Congress are supporting their freshman colleagues who see that tragic day of 9/11 as merely some people did something. This is one of the reasons why I'm running for Congress. I will expose, confront, and combat the anti-American radicals who are trying to make the blaming and hatred of America the norm. A member of Congress should never support terrorists who want to kill Americans, but that's exactly what Representative Ilhan Omar did when, as a Minnesota state rep, she wrote a judge begging for leniency for 9 men convicted of joining ISIS. And if that isn't enough for you, she was only one of 2 reps in Minnesota to vote against a bill that blocked life insurance payments to the beneficiaries of terrorists killed in attacks. A Palestinian flag, which is really the flag of the terror group Hamas, should never be displayed in the U.S. Capitol. but one is, and take a guess where it is, in the office of Michigan Representative Rashida Tlaib. Those things are unacceptable coming from members of the United States Congress, yet it happens daily, and congressional Democrats remain silent. It's time to make America safe and Congress sane again. Hi, I'm Laura Loomer, and I'm running for Congress in Florida's 21st Congressional District. As a young woman in America, if there's one thing I value, it's my personal safety and security. That is why I am and always will be a strong, absolute, and unwavering supporter of the Second Amendment. Politicians and pundits on the left will tell you that guns aren't necessary and that your right to bear arms should be modified and regulated, when what they really mean is that they want to eradicate that right and take your guns away. I will vigorously defend the American people's right to defend themselves and their property. You have a God-given right to own and carry a firearm, and if necessary, to use that firearm to protect your life. When in Congress, I will never give an inch of ground to the far-left gun grabbers. Hi, I'm Laura Loomer, and I'm running for Congress in Florida's 21st Congressional District. Big tech social media companies have made it their goal to censor and ultimately shut down conservative voices as a way to control political dialogue ahead of the 2020 elections. Few things are more un-American than censorship, yet now, more than ever, we see glaring examples of it daily. Conservative accounts suspended or banned for innocuous postings, while liberal accounts with far more egregious content continue to operate freely and unencumbered. As someone banned on nearly every single social media platform, with even Chase Bank temporarily shutting down online access to my bank account, I understand the dangers of this far better than most. We cannot allow big tech social media companies to continue acting as liberal publishers free from oversight and regulation. Tech companies have used censorship not only as a way to silence those who they disagree with politically, but also as a way to incite violence against conservatives. While conservatives are banned and shut down, terrorist organizations like Hamas and Antifa, criminals, and even human traffickers are freely using social media to communicate. Americans deserve a fair and transparent playing field from big tech, and when in Congress, holding these companies and their executives accountable will be a top priority of mine. Hi, I'm Laura Loomer, and I'm running for Congress in Florida's 21st Congressional District. Wouldn't it be horrible if we lived in a nation where journalists were silenced just because they confronted the political and media elite? You might think that could never happen in America, but it did. And to me. For confronting people like Hillary Clinton on her corruption and Ilhan Omar for her ties to radical Islamic terror groups, I have been banned on pretty much every single social media platform. And if that doesn't sound extreme enough, I'm also banned on Uber and Lyft. I know, I cannot understand that last one either. When this all happened to me, I contacted the media and members of Congress. I asked them for help. I kept calling, I kept emailing, but I never received a reply. And that's when it hit me. I'm a well-known journalist who has the phone numbers of the most powerful people in politics and media, yet I couldn't get any assistance. What on earth would the average American do if the same thing happened to them? I realized then that if I wanted to see change, that I would need to run for office. The American people deserve representation that listens to and acts on their concerns. So here I am, running for Congress in Florida's 21st Congressional District, because the American people deserve a voice and a representative who, like President Trump, will keep the promises they make and speak up loudly and clearly for that silent majority. Hi, I'm Laura Loomer, and I'm running for Congress in Florida's 21st Congressional District. I was born in Tucson, Arizona, but I have always considered South Florida my home. That's why I chose to attend college in Miami, where I studied broadcast journalism and political science and graduated at the top of my class. From there, I joined Project Veritas as an investigative journalist, working undercover in the Hillary Clinton campaign, where I exposed voter fraud and corruption nationwide. When I left Project Veritas, I created my own media company as an independent journalist, and I traveled the world, confronting politicians, holding elected officials accountable, exposing corruption, and breaking news. My viral videos and in-your-face style of journalism quickly brought me international notoriety, and I generated an online following of millions of people on multiple social media platforms. In fact, my style became its own verb. Politicians and public figures confronted by journalists are now said to be Loomered. My journalism success and notoriety came without the backing of mainstream media and or the political elite. So, naturally, the big tech social media companies, all of them which are run by far-left Democrats, made it their mission to shut me down and censor my voice. For simply being a voice of the silent majority, and mostly for being a loyal Trump supporter, I was banned on every single social media platform. Fighting censorship is just one of the many reasons I'm running for Congress. Visit my campaign website, LauraLoomerForCongress.com, where you can learn more about my platform, volunteer, and donate to my campaign. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you on the campaign trail and representing you in Congress.
Shakespeare in the Park continued their production of Julius Caesar, which depicts the killing of a Trump look-alike every single night. Now, the show did close last night as planned, but my next guest felt she had to do something about the depiction of violence against our president. So during Friday evening's performance, Laura Loomer stormed the stage, interrupting the performance, denouncing the depiction of violence against the right. And following the interruption, Loomer was in fact arrested by the NYPD. She joins us now. Why was this then so important to you?
This has been really important to me because the left has systematically and programmatically used free speech and artistic expression as a pretext to incite violence against the right and promote the assassination of President Donald Trump.
Conservative activist Laura Loomer confronted Hillary Clinton about the missing emails at her book signing. Laura took those, the footage right there is with me now. What was it like to confront Hillary Clinton?
Hi, it's so great to see you.
Well, it's great for you to be here.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for coming. Thanks for having me. So the American people would really like to know, what happened to your 33,000 emails? What happened in Benghazi?
Go read the book.
What happened to the millions of dollars that was supposed to go to the people in Haiti?
You know what? I'm so sorry you believe things that are untrue.
Stunned silence from former FBI Director James Comey as he finally faces a tough question during his national book tour.
Hey, Mr. Comey. Hey, how is it ethical to brief the President of the United States on an unverifiable and salacious dossier? And how is it ethical leadership to not tell him that his political opposition, Hillary Clinton, paid for that? You didn't disclose that information. Why didn't you disclose to President Trump that his opposition paid for the material?
Listen, you're an anti-Semite. You call for jihad in the United States.
It's time for you to leave.
Saying there's nothing creepier than Zionists. When you criticize Zionists, you're criticizing Jews, Linda.
Actress and Me Too darling Alyssa Milano was confronted by freelance journalist Laura Loomer about her support for controversial Women's March leader and Palestinian activist Linda Sarsour.
I want to ask you right now to disavow Linda Sarsour because she is a supporter of Sharia law. I would like to ask my question. My question is, will you please disavow her because she is advocating for Sharia law with her.
There is a young female journalist, conservative journalist by the name of Laura Loomer. She caught up with Maxine Waters and had a little chat with her.
Where are conservatives allowed to go? Are there separate? Do we sit at the back of the bus? Supposed to sit at the back of the bus? Are we supposed to sit at the back of the bus? This is an assault allegation. You cannot be the Attorney General of Minnesota if you abuse women, Mr. Ellison.
Independent investigative journalists Laura Loomer and Mike Turber walked right into the hotel service elevator unchallenged.
Mandalay Bay and MGM Resorts haven't taken any efforts to really improve their security measures, despite the fact that the worst mass shooting in U.S. history took place on one of their properties.
You want to run for president in 2020? You think that Brett Kavanaugh is a gang rapist?
No, he's not my president.
When are you going to, for the safety of your own son, divorce Anthony Weiner, who is a pedophile?
Does anybody here think that it is right for Sheriff Israel to have signed off on Nicholas Cruz to have been able to register to vote, despite the fact that he murdered 17 people?
There are numerous pictures of you featured with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Hillary Clinton.
This interview is done.
David Hogg, were you having fun, making money off of dead victims, David? I
Dossier campaigning with Stacey Abrams. My name's Laura Loomer. I'm a Jewish voter, and I would just wanted your comments on yesterday's attack at the synagogue. So you keep dodging my question, but I really want to know. Will you disavow Linda Sarsour?
We ain't doing that right now. We ain't doing that right now.
I actually like people. Are you like her? Rashida, are you willing to admit as a congresswoman that Hamas is a terrorist organization? Why are you campaigning with Linda Sarsour, who called for jihad against President Trump? She married her brother. Elon, why did you marry your brother?
So that is afforded to all of us.
What about justice for little girls, Elon? Why are you standing with people who openly support Hamas, a terrorist organization that kills Jewish people? The Women's March hates Jews! The Women's March hates Jews!
What we're doing today
Linda Sarsour is a Jew hater!
Make sure we stay positive.
She's a Jew hater!
Because if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and other members of the Hamas caucus, as I like to call them, are going to go as far as saying that if she's going to call that a concentration camp, then, why can't I? Why can't I, make comparisons? The Holocaust was less than 80 years ago, right? And when we say never again, right, I'm afraid that never again really doesn't mean never again anymore.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to meet you and have you here. You are one brave young woman.
Thank you.
You're only 25 years old.
Yes.
Single?
I'm single, yes.
Any prospects?
First of all, you can have no better friend than Laura Loomer.
Yeah.
She has bigger balls than most of the men I know. A woman of enormous courage and integrity. And I appreciate those who are helping me in this fight.
I want to thank you and Stop the Violence Act. It's been such an outspoken critic against social media violence.
I started last summer when I got 0 followers with something like 25 million impressions, and I started calling them out on it. The second I called them out, that stopped for me. The problem is it's not stopping for little accounts that don't have my soapbox.
These people are such cowards, and they try to avoid eye contact with me, and then they go, they look in their phone.
If America's men acted like Laura Loomer, our problems would be fixed in about 5 minutes. I mean, let's just say it. Laura Loomer's got the biggest goddamn balls of them all.
Please help us, Mr. President, before it is too late, because Jack Dorsey is trying to influence the election, to sway the election so that the Democrats can steal the election. That is why he is censoring and shadow banning conservatives. You are a liar, Jack Dorsey. You are a liar, Jack Dorsey. You unverified me on November 15th, 2017. I am here today. This isn't just about me. This isn't just about me. Jack Dorsey banned me, and yes, a lot of people know who I am because I had 265,000 followers, but this isn't just about me. This is about the millions of people around the world, millions of conservatives who are being censored by social media companies every single day.
That girl got kicked off Twitter.
She kicked off Twitter.
Chained herself to Twitter.
She chained herself to Twitter, yes.
Far-right activist Laura Loomer handcuffed herself in Twitter's New York City building. Police removed her.
Twitter banned Loomer a week ago after she tweeted that Congresswoman-elect Ilhan Omar was anti-Jewish and pro-Sharia law. But let's take a look at their stock, because it actually went down a little bit more than just 6%. It started to climb back up until around 4 p.m. when Laura Loomer started protesting and fell back down again.
Number 1 topic on American Twitter, I believe number 2 topic in world Twitter.
Yes.
Now, baby boomers don't think that's a valid metric, but I sure do.
Okay, a super far-right woman named Laura Loomer got banned from Twitter and then handcuffed herself to Twitter headquarters to protest. And I was like, what? She's gonna get in so much trouble.
I know you look great, full of adrenaline right now, but recap your spoke to the giant study poll that is totally illustrative of how he said any old or immoral or dancing Pelosi's house in Napa Valley, no.
Yeah, so we're here in La Casa de Nancy Pelosi. It's at 11 Zinfandel Lane in case you want to come to our party. And, Nancy's favorite wall is immorality. And we find over this little, I think it's like a little barrier or wall or whatever it may be. She says everyone's welcome here, but now her doors are locked. And I just don't understand because not only were my amigos not able to get inside after she said everyone's welcome here and that we could take up sanctuary, but I'm just so heartbroken that she didn't, extend the invitation to my other friends.
Hey, no fear. Criminals are welcome here. Oh, careful, careful.
You're under arrest for trespassing.
Okay.
You guys, Gavin Newsom is arresting me. Jack Dorsey committed perjury when he testified to Congress and lied.
Joseph Watson, Laura Loomer, all of them were designated dangerous individuals and banned from Facebook and from its subsidiary Instagram.
When you have executives at social media companies labeling conservative individuals as dangerous.
I felt that it was really important to project the names of individuals who have been silenced and censored by Jack Dorsey onto his door. Drove to Facebook headquarters and we're heading over to Facebook to talk to them about why they decided to ban me.
What's happening is everybody who is speaking up is being shut down. They're being censored. They're being threatened. They're being silenced. Right?
There's a girl in America named Laura Loomer. And she got banned from Twitter for saying, which is kind of ironic because now everyone is saying it, that Ilhan Omar works with CARE, a terrorist organization. I know now everyone's saying, and she called Ilhan Omar anti-Semitic and said that Ilhan Omar married her brother, and this is all national. It's all national news.
The group that you're working for, CARE, is a terrorist organization.
Thank you for stopping by.
Okay, well,
Don't
this is a terrorist organization. Ilhan Omar, don't get me done. Ilhan Omar is Iran. He is a vile Jew leader, and these people are supporting Islamic terrorism in America.
What do you do now that you've been canceled?
I'm going to be doing other things. And I know that a lot of people, dislike me on the left and the right, and a lot of people don't agree with my tactics and they think I go too far, but it's absolutely necessary because what has happened to me, right? I'm banned on Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, Twitter, PayPal, GoFundMe, Venmo, Medium, PayPal. The list goes on and on. Hey guys, so here's a video that shows you that censorship of conservatives and social media bias is very real. The left in this country will tell you that it's some type of right-wing conspiracy theory and that Twitter isn't censoring conservatives. Well, just take a look at this video that President Donald Trump posted earlier today, a video of Anthony Scaramucci in which the president is essentially mocking him for talking about how terrible he is when when he was serving in the White House, he was praising Donald Trump and talking about how he would never betray the president and how he was the most loyal person ever. Well, just watch these numbers, okay? 0 views, 25,400 likes, okay? Just watch it. It keeps increasing. And it says 0 views. So you mean to tell me that a video from the President of the United States keeps getting retweets and comments and likes, and they have 0 views? Really? I mean, look, this isn't Photoshop. This is a real-time video. 9,720. 9,729 comments. The likes and the comments and the retweets keep going up, but the views say 0 views, you guys. 0 views. But, Jack Dorsey, when he testified in front of Congress, said there's no such thing as censorship of conservatives and that they don't censor anybody. But you can see in real time they're censoring President Trump, the President of the United States of America. Look at that. The numbers keep increasing, you guys. They keep increasing, but 0 views. I think you get the point. All right? I think you get the point. Well, I hope something's done about this because we're going into a 2020 presidential election year, and
the Democrats are clearly colluding with big tech companies to silence conservatives, including the president.
It's a public safety issue when you're banning people from raising awareness about jihad and Sharia in America. It's a public safety issue when you give verified social media accounts to terrorist organizations and members of Antifa.
Ms. Abrams. Yes, ma'am. My name's Laura Loomer. I'm a Jewish voter, and I just wanted your comments on yesterday's attack at the synagogue. I think she was that's what I was trying to convey. Do you have any comments about the attack at the synagogue? You know, 11 Jews were killed yesterday, and Stacey Abrams is campaigning with a Jew hater, Linda Sarsour.
Or you hear people, especially the left and the Palestinians, calling for the return of the 67 line. They're calling for the annihilation of Israel, all right? They're calling for the destruction of Israel. Once you give them this land, and once you go back to the 67 line, there's just an opportunity to destroy Israel.
What I want people to take from this video, more than anything, especially the Jewish people living in America, most of whom vote for the Democrats, is that another war is coming, right? It didn't just end with the Holocaust. It didn't just end with the killing and the murder of 6 million Jews. What we are witnessing around the world in places like Europe and now the United States is something that the people of Israel are well accustomed to and are preparing for and live every single day.
Right.
Closed for Jews. We can't go up right now because it's Ramadan, and the Muslims don't want the Jews up there in the afternoon during Ramadan. I find it to be extremely disturbing that, most Jews in America vote for the Democrat Party. They stand with a party that aligns themselves with Islam. And so when Jews align themselves with the Democrats, they align themselves with people who seek, their downfall. And so if you could give a message to the American Jews, you are a United States citizen, what would that be?
My message to American Jewry is simple. Be proud Jews.
Hey guys, Laura Loomer here. I am currently in southern Israel on the Gaza border. And here in Israel, they take their border security very seriously. It's a lesson that we as Americans living in the United States should really take and learn from the Israelis.
He is not trying to implement. I don't care what the Quran says.
Well, you should. There were studies, a few studies showed that majority of Muslims in this country would rather live under Sharia law than the United States Constitution.
That's their choice.
No, it's not, because if you're living in America, I uphold the United States Constitution and Sharia law. So, as you know, CARE is a designated Islamic terrorist organization. Ilhan Omar spews vile Jew hatred. We have a lot of protesters across the street with some Holocaust imagery, never again, American flags, Israeli flags. A lot of people are angry that a terrorist convention is taking place here in their community. So we're going to go talk to some of these protesters.
social media companies like Facebook and Twitter are starting to normalize things like Jew hatred and Sharia law. It is crazy to think that even after the Holocaust, a Jewish journalist is banned for posting facts about individuals who preach hatred towards Jewish people, who call for the killing of Jews and Christians, but they allow for jihadis.
Ilhan Omar is allowed to tweet these heinous, vile things, while a Jewish woman who was the first to criticize her before she was elected, when people should have been listening, Laura Loomer, is banned from Twitter.
Conservative journalist by the name of Laura Loomer.
Laura Loomer is a Jewish kind of independent reporter.
Now they're saying, oh, Laura Loomer, a wonderful Jewish woman, friend of mine.
You were making a very strong point. I applaud you for what you've done, and you did it knowing what the risks are, and good for you. Thanks for being with us.
Rashida, are you willing to admit, as a congresswoman, that Hamas is a terrorist organization? Elon, why did you marry your brother? It is a violation of campaign finance rules to use your campaign funds to pay for your divorce from your brother. CARE is recognized as a designated terrorist organization in United Arab Emirates. Both of these candidates have been endorsed by CARE, a terrorist organization. The federal government found during the Holy Land Foundation trial that CARE had ties to terrorism. They were funding Hamas, which Rashida, candidate for Congress, supports.
Will you denounce Antifa? Denounce the domestic terrorist attack, Bernie. Denounce Antifa.
Huh? Sorry, we're supposed to keep this is a walkway on the stage. You can't go on the walkway of the stage.
Who said that?
I'm a marshal.
You're a marshal? Really? Let's see your credentials. Let's see your credentials. Did you just claim to be a U.S. Marshal? Yeah. Bernie, why won't you denounce Antifa, the firebombing attack? Bernie, why won't you denounce Antifa? Bernie, can you denounce the domestic terrorist organization known as Antifa? Bernie, don't touch me. Don't touch me. You get off me right now. You get off me right now. You just grabbed me. You're assaulting a gay man. Stop it. You're assaulting a gay man. Stop it. Stop it. Why won't you condemn Antifa? Why won't you condemn Antifa? Why won't you condemn Antifa? Domestic
It's a free country and anybody can be a moron.
Anybody can be a moron? So what do you call Antifa? Firebombing a government facility. Firebombing a government facility, Bernie. Why do you support that, Senator?
That's not the call right here.
Condemn domestic terrorism, Bernie. Condemn domestic terrorism.
Did you enjoy this video? Want to see more videos like this? Subscribe today at lauraloomer.us. Support independent journalism at loomer.rev.co. Thanks.
Thank you. Hi. I'm sorry. I just want to be with the workers really quick. I'll be right here. Rashida, would you condemn the firebombing attack?
Rashida, will you condemn the Antifa firebombing attack on an ICE facility? Rashida, why won't you condemn Antifa? Rashida, will you condemn Antifa, a domestic terrorist organization? Rashida, condemn Antifa, a domestic terrorist organization? Rashida, didn't your language on ICE detainment centers lead to the firebombing, domestic terrorism attack? No comment? Sorry. Excuse me. Sir, get off me. Sorry. Rashida, why won't you condemn Antifa? Rashida, why won't you condemn Antifa, a domestic terrorist organization? Why is it so hard to condemn a domestic terrorist organization?
Can you please speak up on behalf of Muslims? But don't you care
constituents? You're just turning your back on us? I'm getting you in trouble.
Rashida, I'm a fellow Michigander. Why won't you talk to me? I'm a gay man too. Are you homophobic?
Because I am a person, a woman of color, just like the rest of the squad. Don't we have a right?
Rashida, why can't you condemn the firebombing of a government facility by a member of Antifa, a domestic terrorist organization?
For the Democrat Party, the party of the Ku Klux Klan?
Why can't you condemn Antifa? It's pretty simple. Do you support domestic terrorism?
Sorry, I'm trying to get through you guys.
Do you support domestic terrorism?
President, motherfucker, not sit and answer your constituents' questions.
Rashida, we're getting, don't push me.
I'm just trying to.
You just did. Hip check. It's all right.
I work at the Washington Court Hotel. We condemn Hamas.
Yes.
Thank you. You support and condone Hamas and Antifa. Why is that? Are you supposed to lead people from out of poverty and anger, and you're sitting here galvanizing everyone to hate President Trump and have the nerve to call him a motherfucker, but you won't answer one of our questions or look me in the eye? Why is that?
Rashida, domestic terrorism, Antifa, firebombing of an ICE facility with language that you charge them up on. Rashida, yeah. Rashida, can't answer.
Did you enjoy this video? Want to see more videos like this? Subscribe today at lauraloomer.us. Support independent journalism at loomer.rev.co. Thanks. Hey guys, Laura Loomer here. So yesterday, Yair Netanyahu, who is the son of Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, took to Twitter to show his support of me and my lawsuits against the big tech social media companies and the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is essentially Hamas. As you know, I am the most banned woman in the world. I've been banned on every single social media platform and accused of being a dangerous individual and some type of digital domestic Jewish terrorist because I exposed Ilhan Omar. I was permanently banned on Twitter for saying that Ilhan Omar was anti-Jewish. So of course, Yair Netanyahu, who's a friend of mine, is going to take to social media to show his support of me. Well, this didn't sit too well with individuals who claim to be advocates for Israel and the Jewish people, one of which includes a guy by the name of Harry Reese, who says that he was the former special assistant to the CEO of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, another self-hating Jew who worked for Barack Hussein Obama. You might recall that Obama took pictures with Louis Farrakhan and actually had meetings with him, which he tried to hide throughout the duration of his presidency. And we're talking about Louis Farrakhan, a guy who has called Jewish people termites and said that Hitler was a very good man. Yes, this is the guy who Harry Reese wanted to work for, right? Jonathan Greenblatt, who worked for Obama, hasn't condemned Obama, but now he's accusing me of being some type of neo-Nazi and accusing Yair Netanyahu of being some type of alt-right Nazi. His social media also says that he's a director for an organization called the New Israel Fund. And I just find this to be hilarious because it says on Twitter, the New Israel Fund is the leading organization advancing and protecting liberal democracy in Israel. Yeah, so much for protecting Israel and the Jewish people when you're attacking a conservative Jew, a Zionist. But I've never seen this guy, Harry Reese, or the ADL condemn Rashida Tlaib, who said that the Holocaust gave her a calming feeling. I've never seen Harry Reese condemn Ilhan Omar, who, you know, we can go down the list for days, if not years, talking about all of the horrible things that Ilhan Omar has said about Jewish people. No, Harry Reese would rather attack me and the Prime Minister of Israel's son. So here's my message to Harry Reese and all these other, left-leaning, self-hating Jews who want to accuse actual fighting Jews of being Nazis. All right, go to hell. Go to hell, because until you're going to fight against left-wing anti-Semitism, and let's be honest, 99% of the anti-Semitism is coming from the Democrat Party and these people like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, members of the Hamas caucus, until you're willing to actually do your job and defend these Israel haters, don't talk about me, all right? Don't talk about me and don't attack Yair Netanyahu.
southern Israel on the Gaza border. And here in Israel, they take their border security very seriously. It's a lesson that we as Americans living in the United States should really take and learn from the Israelis. Behind me, you can see is the border wall bordering Israel and Gaza, of course, right? So this is southern Israel. We're on the Gaza border, and the construction of this border wall itself has significantly reduced terrorist infiltration, terrorist attacks, as well as illegal immigration, or like I said, infiltration into Israel. And similarly, President Donald Trump has been working hard to build a border wall to secure our border in the United States, to protect United States citizens from illegal immigrants, as well as a terrorist threat, some of which the mainstream media doesn't really like to talk about. The fact that many Islamic terrorist organizations, including members of Hamas and Hezbollah, are working with members of the Mexican cartels to build tunnels and infiltrate the U.S. border. Through Kerem Shalom, which is the only crossing between Gaza and Israel. This is where Israeli aid and supplies to Gaza are distributed and inspected before going into Gaza. So not many people, really nobody is allowed to, from my understanding, right?
Nobody is allowed to. We are very fortunate to be here today, to some personal connections and knowing that the group is very important to Israel.
Why don't they usually let groups come in to this crossing?
Highly secured area with a lot of risks involved, and we just don't want to take any unnecessary risks.
Right. So this truly is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it really dispels a lot of the lies told by the media about Israel, right? This fact that the fact that the mainstream media and the left likes to lie and say that Israel is committing human rights violations against the people in Gaza. But as you can see from all of these trucks full of materials, this is full of aid, supplies, food, water, electricity, all types of aid that is being administered to the people in Gaza, who of course are actually having their rights violated by Hamas.
It's all a lie, and Gaza depends on Israel. They get not only what you see in these sort of goods, but also we give them the electricity, water, and everything else involved.
Israel, the border between Israel and Egypt. And you can see behind me there is a large 150-mile long border fence that was constructed. Currently in Israel, there are about 100,000 illegal migrants living here, some of whom who've taken over entire neighborhoods in Tel Aviv. There are entire neighborhoods in Tel Aviv full of African migrants who are, Muslim migrants practicing Sharia law in Israel, preaching hatred against Jews, calling for the killing of Jews. Well, they now have the border wall to keep illegal migrants out of Israel from Africa. They still have the issue of the 100,000 that are living here.
If the Egyptian army will cross the Suez Canal and they will enter Sinai Desert, it will be an alert for us that we can call our reserve forces to the line. That is the agreement between Israel and Egypt, and therefore we thought that we don't need any barrier on the ground. But after a few years, this area became a smuggler area. People brought illegal drugs from Israel to Jordan or from Africa through Egypt to Israel itself, and there were a lot of problems, criminal problems along the line. These fans stopped what is called the Second Intifada, the terror attack that was in 2000 till 2006 from the West Bank to Israel. In this period, we had more than 3,000 terror attacks. We lost in this period more than 1,562 people that were murdered by terror attacks, and we had to stop them. So we did active and things inside the West Bank. We tried to catch the terrorists, but in the other hand, we had to block them from coming from the West Bank to Israel.
And I know currently where we're standing right now, we're in the southernmost border, the border between Israel and Egypt. We're standing obviously on the side of Israel, and the other side is Egypt. Can you explain the significance of this border fence and how it has reduced illegal immigration?
About 1,000 people that were coming every month to Israel illegally, trying to take rights inside Israel, work in Israel, have their economic in Israel, and Israel couldn't bear it. And the Palestinian terror used these people and tried to get inside that crowd to Israel. So we had to do something to stop them. We did a lot of things inside Israel, like trying to arrest these people, trying to take the people to court. But here we have to block the border. And that's what we did here. And from 2013, the border between Egypt and Israel is closed. No terrorist is crossing here. No immigration from Africa is crossing to Israel through these lines.
So you think that Donald Trump's proposal to build a big wall on the U.S.-Mexico border is a good or bad idea?
I think that every country has the right to keep her borders, and the United States, of course, have to do it.
That sounds a lot like what's happening in the United States where I live. And, you have the Democrats and a lot of leftists and people who are pro-illegal immigration claiming that the illegals coming in through the U.S.-Mexico border and our northern border as well are refugees, and that, we need to give these people rights. But explain for people in the United States and elsewhere who may not understand the definition of a refugee, what it truly means to be a refugee according to international law.
According to the international law, you can be a political refugee or war refugee from the country. But you are a refugee only to the first country that you are coming through. So the people that are coming today from Guatemala or Honduras to the United States through Mexico, and they are marching all the area, they are not refugees in the United States according to international law. They are refugees in Mexico because that was the first country that they came to.
So the Democrats, when they claim that the people in the caravans are refugees and that they need to seek asylum and that everyone's welcome here, right? We see Nancy Pelosi and other Democrats say that, and that we have to have open borders and cannot build a wall. That means they're lying then, right? They're lying.
I don't want to get inside the American politics.
That means that Ilhan Omar is not a refugee. We have a congresswoman in the United States, and her name is Ilhan Omar, and she supports Hamas. And she says that she's a refugee from Somalia. But according to your own definition, she's not a refugee.
You see,